Okay, this isn't a typical video like I make. If you are a long-term viewer, I guess, to the channel, you know that I make ASMR content, or used to. If this is your first video by me, welcome. I'm MrGav. But you clicked on this video probably because you have heard of the game Fortnite, or maybe you've played it before, or you still play it to this day. Now, I still play Fortnite, but Fortnite, I cannot deny, is dying. Fortnite is becoming a dying game. Now, there are probably many factors to contribute to that, but I just feel like lately Fortnite hasn't been as fun as it used to, and I'm here to look into that, and maybe you feel the same way as me. Now, if you haven't heard of Fortnite, Fortnite is a battle royale, which is basically just like, yeah, I don't really have a good definition to explain what a battle royale is, but what Fortnite really is it's 100 people, typically 100 people are in a game, and Fortnite is a shooter, and the last person remaining wins. And that's what Fortnite was mainly built off of. Now, there were other game modes in the start, like Creative and Save the World. And Creative is just like Creative Minecraft. Like, you have all the resources that Fortnite gave you to build whatever you want in 100,000 memory. And then Save the World is a whole different thing that I will cover in a different video. But I'm here to talk about Fortnite Battle Royale and why it's failing. If you've played Fortnite like me, you'll know that it was pretty fun and it had a peak. Just like everything has had a peak. Athletes have a peak, games have a peak, just everything has a peak. And Fortnite's peak probably lasted from probably the start of it to like I'd say from like the start of it to like chapter 3 season 1 is like the end of its peak, and it kind of revived itself later, but we'll get into that. So the start of Fortnite, it was released, and it was a brand new thing, and everybody loved it, and there were different seasons as it progressed, and it was a fun new battle royale game, and no one was really good at it, and that's also what played a factor into why it was more fun, is that no one really was good at it because it just came out in like 2017, 2018, when it was gaining its popularity. And so you could enjoy it and have fun and play with your friends. And there wasn't any cash cups, tournaments like that for people to take it seriously. And as it progressed, there were different seasons that had different styles and people like that. And to add on to that, Fortnite had a very fun to follow storyline along with it. But Chapter 1 came to an end, was, as most people know, the black hole event, which absorbed the entire Chapter 1 map into a black hole. And if you remember what happened in those couple of days, lots of people were mad because they thought they had just spent hundreds of dollars on a game just for it to shut down. But it came back after a couple days from this black hole, starting Chapter 2. And a lot of people, myself included, it really enjoyed Chapter 2. Now, obviously, Chapter 2 hosted its best and its worst season, in my opinion. I feel like Fortnite's best seasons were Chapter 2 Season 2 and Chapter 2 Season 4. And I feel like it's widespread agreed on that Chapter 2 Season 6 is also its worst season. But with that being said, Fortnite still averaged millions of players a day, and it was still fun, and they were starting to add, like, you could do stuff in creative, battle royale, still stuff like that, and it was still fun. But the only problem is that it was the same thing kind of over and over again. If you died, you went back to the battle bus and just played the exact same game. And now that's what I feel like contributed to its downfall a little bit. And then also, as of recently, Fortnite has just not made very much, like, it's just not, the storyline is harder to follow, especially with recently 1,000 employees that were just recently laid off by Epic Games, which now Fortnite still at average, like, it has thousands of players on every day, which is still impressive. It's nowhere near the point where we have to start thinking about, oh, is it going to shut down? Because they're nowhere close to shutting down. But they're still making money. But as of recently, what has contributed majorly to Fortnite's downfall is just a list of things. And if you don't care and you just want to listen, that's cool. If you haven't heard of it and you want to know, I'll cover some of these topics. And if you already know and you just want to see my analysis on this, then everyone just feel free to listen to it. But some of the major things contributing to its downfall is, like I covered, the 1,000 employees being laid off. And they did that to cut costs. But to me, it isn't entirely justified, I guess. Like, they're trying to save money. But you are one of the richest, if not the richest, gaming corporations in the entire world. And you're firing 1,000 employees to save money. And along with that, due to inflation lately, they have increased prices of V-Bucks and lowered the amount of V-Bucks that you get. So for example, 1,000 V-Bucks used to be like $9.99, but now for 800 V-Bucks, it's $8.99, which isn't entirely the same rate. It isn't the same. And there's just so many game modes as an attempt to try and revive the game. Like in Chapter 5, which kinda, I would say, brought back the game's popularity with just like Festival and Rocket Racing. But people quickly realized that these game modes just weren't any fun. They were just an attempt to try and bring back an audience to the game. Now obviously, it's, like I said, it's still a huge game with hundreds of thousands into the millions of people still playing every day on the game. But to me, it's just not the same as it was anymore, and you may feel the same way. And as well, another thing that is majorly contributing to the downfall of Fortnite, as I covered before, at the beginning there weren't that many good people. It was a new game, but now there's a major skill gap between, obviously, people that just started now and the people that are already high up there. Like, it is crazy that how different skill level is. Like, there are people that won't hop off of Fortnite for hours and they keep grinding, and that is super apparent to many people, including myself. And I am not the greatest, I will admit this, I am not the greatest Fortnite player in the entire world. There's only one person that can be the greatest player in the entire world, obviously, but there's just so many good players. And I know good is just a term to be thrown around. You could be good at Tetris against a 5-year-old, but against a competitive Tetris player, you're bad and they're good. So, and when I say good, I mean people that are typically better than your skill level. Like, people that can do stuff in the game that you can't do because of your skill level. Which is why the game has also fallen off, because there are so many skill level differences. And if you don't, and basically there's just a time where if you didn't adapt with the game, then you were just pretty much permanently left behind. If you didn't play every single day, then you got, like, pretty much if you just didn't play every single day, you were left behind. And it's super hard to catch up now, because there's all these people that won't hop off, and now they're super high up there, and the people that are just coming back to enjoy a game, they can't really enjoy that now, because there are so many good people. And that is what I feel like is contributing to Fortnite's downfall. If you liked my video today, make sure to drop a comment down below saying, hey, I like this. If you want to, you can subscribe. You don't have to. But just like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to. And I will see you guys in another video. See you next time.